I would say today in field of day-to-day life in IT business, we have a lot of different things like virtual reality, augmented reality, IoT, machine learning, and all these things are coming together somehow. And from testing point of view or from end-to-end point of view, everybody wants to have like good product, good quality product with the best results available. But somehow they forget how hard or how important is to test it. So basically what we have in our company, and we are just a software house delivering to our partners, is that we already have the mobile applications which connects to some kind of backend, which works with machine learning and works with a lot of data and analyze them and give us some hints to show to customers. Then of course we connect it to the IoT, and at the end we find out that, for example, after 3 months of usage, system is not delivering the expected result. Why? Because something happened between the system and the IoT stuff, and it's not tested properly. So we try to, or we are trying to think about what to do with it, and basically we have found out that we have to a little bit change the approach of testing to really deliver the software as intended. So why? Because now our customers like to have agile teams which are really fast. Every week they throw up some kind of new tech, new feature out into the application. It's really like ongoing process, which is really fast. On the other hand, the team is spread out from on different locations. In our company, we have it like one part of the team is in Prague, another one in Brno, then another one in Bratislava. They have to like glue together. They only have a phone or some video conference, so it's really hard for them, especially for testers. If they want to work with the developers, it's hard to like go to the developer because he's sitting like 300 kilometers out. So basically, and the third thing is the hard to test technologies in there. So it's like already a problematic field, and with more tech in there. So what we do and what we forget is to give a quality assurance and give testers something to work with. So we say, okay, we have testers, they will click it, they will do it end to end, they will write some stories, some scenarios how to test it, but we do not give them a tools to properly test it, and that's the problem of today's like end to end delivery. Well, I would say. From my point of view, I think what gets for my team the best is to first try to think about the tests which are done from behavior perspective. So basically how the users will use it. So in example, we have that virtual reality simulator there, and basically. Like everyone who came into our booth, he was like, okay, let's put it on, and I will just try to use it. I know that there is a Steam, and on a Steam the HTC works somehow, but the user would like to like stick to the area or to the usage how he seems to be comfortable for him. And basically, they are trying something they know, but it's not working there. So let's try to test the application so that, okay, we have several different applications, whatever are they on the market. So look for them, find the similar application and try them with your application as well, because otherwise people will just tell this app is bad because it not behaves as intended or as expected. So that's one step from my perspective. What I would say it's great. Second, Last time we delivered the mobile app in this case, and it was a mobile app for Deutsche Telekom, where we have like over 2 million active customers. So basically some kind of really heavy running application from my point of view. And there we try to test the application best as we could. But every time the results were not expected or were not as expected because you have like tons of different mobile devices. You cannot test them all. You have the farm available from Google or from any other company, but the farm is not 100% that what is inside the phone of daily user of that phone. It's like have different apps, have less memory available, and all these things. So we tried a little bit different approach. We forgot the UI itself, and we implemented the framework which goes underneath a little bit. So we introduced some kind of, let's call it, acceptance test. So basically with the framework which is available, we can test the application end to end from functional point of view, not the UI point of view. And then there is another team who does that from UI point of view. And if we merge these teams together, we have like expected results. And I think what is most important from my point of view, and I would say it's something which is left out these days, is some kind of exploration testing or tests which needs to be done somehow a little bit out of the basic scope of the test. So basically what I see these days on a project or in product development, everything is like set up in Jira or in another testing tool. You have tons of test scripts and you have to click them all. And then you come into the stage where every tester is blind for that application. So basically you just release a new version, and then new version is out, and every tester is testing for I don't know, 1,000,001 time again the same application, and they don't see things. So from my perspective, I think we are quite okay with that we have many testers. So I'm trying to switch the teams in the middle of the project to get the results as well. So basically, if we switch the team, we'll introduce new people, new ideas, the new eyes, and we don't give them the scope of the test, which is already somewhere written, but they will do some let's call it the exploratory tests, and basically the results are getting better. Yeah, so that's like my few cents into the stuff we do. What I would like to show, it's basically the use cases from existing project, what we did, how it went, and what I would do better for next time. So first is let's call it a car monitoring tool. Basically every new car has a OBD2 connector, which is like standard nowadays. So we were asked from our customer to make tracking tool for fleet cars. This tracking tool is basically IoT gadget connected either via LoRa network or via SIM card. So basically GSM. It's a choice of a customer, and it makes the drive log a little bit automatic. It checks whether you drive really fast when your engine is cold and all these things, so that the fleet of cars, it's in some kind of good shape after, let's say, 2-3 years. So basically monitoring for employees or customers of some kind of car company. And what we did, we introduced it, we put it into the cars, and it started to crash somehow. So we were asked why is this happening. So it came to be like after 3 months we rolled out with these things. So basically, we introduced a new service. Everything were fine. Everybody were happy using this. But after 3 months, this started to crash. So at the end of overall like 1 month long process of debugging, where we did some kind of problem, we found out that there was some kind of cache inside the memory module of that device, which after 3 months were overloaded, and the device just crashed, and we could not do anything because there was a problem. So, and there was no way how to simulate it, because the overall project from the like implementation of that device, creating a mobile application, creating a backend, was less than 3 months, everything all together. So basically, how you can handle this, how you can check something which will end up not working after your QA, after your acceptance test, after everything is done, you can't. So that's why we were thinking about what to do, and we found out that when you try to do some kind of end-to-end testing, and you have an IoT device, not only the mobile, you have like 5 things, basically 5 layers of things to cover in terms to test it really properly, and you have to somehow maintain the balance between that. So basically, that circle there, it's all the use cases which can happen with that device, basically. So the device can be connected, disconnected, connected to LoRa, connected to GSM. The car is in the tunnel. There is a problem with the certificate on some kind of network, and all these things together create a millions of use cases which are not really like easy to handle. So, well, we tried to what we can do. We tried to think about, okay, we can speed up the time and boost all things into that device to fill up the memory, or let's handle it a little bit differently, but we didn't knew that this will happen after 3 months. So we try to automate a lot of processes in there. We have created our own small cars in our office. So basically we had a simulator which was like driving for, I don't know, 300 kilometers per hour to simulate really and speed up the process itself. So our idea was to, okay, let's make something a little bit different. So let's make small cars and drive with them in an office and put these things together. So there was the only choice we had in this case. Well. And at the end, we finally found out that the best way how to test these things is to give it time. So next time, what I would do, if I would have like push from customer that, hey, we have a big project here, we have to be really quick on the market because we want to be like first. Then say them, okay, but every app, every system needs a quality assurance which is longer because of these problems. So from my perspective, I cannot say how to really handle these things in this case, because only thing what matters in this case was the time, and we had releases like we had out over 1,000 devices, and everything had to be like returned back and switched. So it was a bad use case in this case. Second one is a car training in VR. You could see it in our booth. Basically, it's a simulator in virtual reality which allows you to dismantle the car itself. And basically, in this case, we are training our customers' technicians to dismantle parts of the car according to some kind of step-by-step process. So, from terms of like testing, what we do, first of all, our testers are like, what are we going to how to test this? How to test this this kind of solution because we are in virtual reality. We have some kind of like place there, and we have to go to every corner to check whether we will drop into the pixels or not, what to do. The second was we had to start to test because the project was running, and we developed some kind of testing strategies for VR to really quite test it end to end, because what you have two different things. There are some scenarios you need to test, which is some kind of end-to-end process in terms of like you can dismantle thing one after another, you have to highlight, and then you have some graphical designs which needs to be tested as well. So whether the circle looks like a circle and the aluminium looks like an aluminium basically. So this is nothing really simple. And that we introduced something. So every session was recorded. We started to record the VR sessions for every tester, and in that case, we knew when the problem occurred. We could see it in a video. It was better to be able to describe it to developer. And of course, this speeded up the whole process of testing. It's still, there are some bugs there. You can find them there, but well, it was something which speeded up our testing definitely. And the second option or second thing was that we try to introduce the developer into the VR environment as well. So we used our own solution, which is the multiplayer. So two people can be in the environment together. So the tester shown the developer exactly what he's doing, and then afterwards the developer was able to simulate the problem. So our idea to introduce the system to the customers was kinda speeded up with this solution what we gave to it. So, and a third thing, what you have in VR is motion sickness. So another stuff that, for example, our tester, we have one guy who can stay there for a whole day, but all the other testers, they have to switch a lot. So you cannot really continue with the testing really properly. And well, it's really hard to test in these days. So to wrap it up, because I'm running out of time, in VR, for example, I left it this small, but this is all thing you have to consider if you want to test everything. If you go from the software point of view, and then you go from the hardware point of view. So it's not really a simple task to do. So the wrap up, the most important part. I would say, from my perspective, the important part is to push on developers, or to introduce something for developers which will cover a lot of unit testing inside. Because the new technologies today cannot be like really properly tested with QA itself. So really push on a development that introduce unit test end-to-end tests with the unit test as much as you can. Then focus on the integration, because it's the important part. And the last piece should be the end-to-end working, but it should be like after this everything is done and it's already working, and from other part to have a like well-performing QA. I would say this is some kind of right architecture to really put the dependency on, because otherwise you are not able to test it. To explain it in 50 seconds, it's like always try to push developers to split everything in a software world to as many different parts, so you can test them on their own. Otherwise, it will not work really. And of course, introduce automation as much as you can in terms of like builds, end-to-end processes, automated tests. It's not simple, but it helps really much. It goes with deployment, the delivery as well. Yeah, it's like I would say today we have great tools available from vendors like Apple and Google already. We do not need to introduce something special, something like crazy. And well, I know the testing isn't easy; it's hard part, but we can make it really good. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Milan, for the talk. So now let's see what questions we have. The first question here is, do you test testers for motion sickness before hiring them?
Actually no. We do have already a big pool of testers, so we try to give them idea what they are going to be testing, and they can try it, and then afterwards they say, okay, this is nothing for us because I don't feel comfortable inside or not. But actually, on the other hand, if I have a good group of testers which are more motion sickness sensitive, I can use them to test whether the application is good written or not. Because I think the most important or the one of the important parts of the VR application is to minimize or try to minimize the motion sickness. And if you know you have a lot of sensitive people inside a team, you can use them for the motion sickness. For example, the solution what we have in a booth is something which is rather stable, so it moves slowly. You are staying there, so that there is little exposure of the motion sickness. On the other hand, the games, or if the company is delivering the games, there are fast movements and things, so you have to be careful in testing this.
Okay. For the next question, why are the QA people spread to 3 sites?
Actually, it's because of the resources. I don't know how it's in Hungary or everywhere, but in Czech and Slovakia, I think we are trying to open our offices a lot because there is like less and less available people for us. So basically, we have to spread the teams. Because we are searching for new testers, and sometimes they come in Prague, sometimes they come in Ostrava, I don't know, in Brno, sometimes in Bratislava. So, and they don't want to like travel for work a lot. So that's why we always try to make a team which is in one side, but sometimes it's just not possible.
And we have a few seconds for the last question. You mentioned changing the team in the middle of the project. What about knowledge transfer?
Actually, in case of that changing a test team, I don't think you need the knowledge for the test you are going to do with the changed team, because the point is that the new team they do not know nothing about the application, and they will spot the bugs or the problems which are not spotted by the team before them, because they were blind and they were like growing up with that application from the beginning, and they just don't see those things. So that's why the knowledge transfer, I think, is not really important in this case. Of course, some of the team members have to be there as well to maintain the knowledge of some kind of problematic processes as well.
Okay. Thank you very much for the talk, Milan. Thank you, everyone.